So Daniel, you just told us as far as how Jesus saved your life and how, when you take a look, what led up to where you were broken to the point where you were thinking of killing yourself. It wasn't because you were on drugs. It wasn't because you were, on a lot of medications. You weren't on anything.
Yeah, no. Like, up until that point, I was really excited to be at that college.
Yeah.
I was on scholarship. I was part of the soccer team. But it was that lie that the enemy put in my head, that God was not with me.
Wow.
I had to do this on my own strength because my parents were there for support. God, in that middle of that process, He brought alongside Christian counselors that were leaders. My own RA residential assistant was a Christian from Nigeria, and we had a Bible study together.
Yeah.
But it was that lie that blinded me from seeing God's presence by my side.
Okay.
And that's what led me, because it was all myself. And I said, okay, how am I going to deal with this super intense soccer practice schedule, plus doing pre-med, because that's what I was there for, to do pre-med. Living on my own, doing my laundry. It was really stupid things that I let the enemy amplify to crazy amounts of level. I knew that my parents were leaving, that I was going to be alone. And yeah, like, it was just so much pressure that I put on myself, that it wasn't depression. It was in complete anxiety and helplessness. Like, I can't go forward. I literally have no ability to go forward. That's how I felt like. And I can't go back because that was too much of a shame for myself. Not because my parents told me, not because someone else told me. They said, hey, they actually said the opposite. They said, don't put this pressure on yourself. You don't have to be perfect. But inside, I knew I needed to be perfect, because that's what I was thinking.
So I'm just thinking, but there's so many young people that are going through the exact same thing that you went through. And that's why I think it's really, really important to get this information out there, because the real answer wasn't in your brokenness. It wasn't in talk therapy. It wasn't in medicines. It wasn't in drugs. It was in a personal relationship with Jesus.
Yeah, like kind of restoring that, because through that process I kind of lost my identity in Christ. What does that mean? Like, knowing who I am, who God created me to be, that He was never going to leave my side. I kind of lost sight of that. And my healing came in restoring that and learning to live in that. Like, I would say I didn't lose my salvation, but I definitely lost sight of who God was for me and who God was in me, like, and who I was, period.
Who you are in Christ.
Exactly.